gotta do it afraid. You gotta do it with the unknown. And you can't do this to God. Because I was released, I was holding on to clients because I was in an expired season. And being in an expired season, you hold other people up from getting what they're supposed to get. So when I release those clients, guess what? They're going to other people that need those clients. So my release is a blessing for someone else. So I'm holding up because I'm hoarding. And God is already making room for me spiritually in other areas of my life and gifting because I've served all my time here. And I asked God for this. So how dare you be afraid when it show up and you want to hold on to something that you hoard and that's no longer yours. These people belong to somebody else in the next season. And you're overstaying because it's comfortable, because you got used to it, because this is how you've been living. Somebody in here is comfortable. Somebody in here is afraid. Somebody in here is doing this to God. And God is saying, I need to see more of you. And the only way you can prove yourself to me is by releasing back to me what is already mine, that I've already given to you. And I just need to see if I can trust you to give it back. Whoever this message is for, you got to go to God like this. Because you're giving everything back and you can take everything in.
Good evening, you guys. This is your girl, Kai Smith, also known as your hair loss advocate. And it is Transformation Tuesday, you guys. We always have a great conversation for you. So per usual, we will have another one tonight. I want you guys to get locked in, get those seatbelts on, get that oxygen mask on, because you know we're going to take flight. And sometimes the air gets real thin when you start ascending. So tonight we're talking about unlocking hidden solutions and pinpointing overlooked patterns with Trichology. And I'm excited to have this conversation with you all because sometimes we lose perspective as trichologists, and we're out here trying to figure out how to navigate our actual roles in the beauty industry so that we don't teeter on the line of medicine or practicing medicine, or so we're not undermining dermatology. This can be a really, really delicate line to teeter. And so I want to bring clarity to trichologists out here tonight. I want to bring clarity to those who are aspiring to be trichologists, those who are already a trichologist, and those who are struggling in the area of practicing the trichology they've already acquired. And so this is going to be a very, very great conversation. The perspective that I'm coming from is understanding the differences between allopathic care and holistic care. And when you understand that, as a trichologist or as a hair loss first responder, hair loss expert, you will then know, especially if you're practicing as a holistic health practitioner. And those trichologists who are actually certified through the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, they are certified as functional trichologists, which means they're looking at the whole body. They're considering all of the body's processes, including mapping the scalp to understand the characteristics and identify the different types of hair losses and scalp disorders. Therefore, they're practicing from a holistic perspective, which is completely different from allopathic care. And I'll start with this. Allopathic care simply aligns the symptom with the prescription, right? They're trying to figure out which prescription is going to actually hit silencing that symptom while only suppressing the symptom. It's only muting what's actually happening to the body. And they have not really gotten rid of the root cause. They have only put the body on mute, the body's communication on mute, which means that you think you're better because you don't feel the symptoms anymore. Meanwhile, the root problem is still burning underneath. And so what we do as holistic practitioners from a holistic perspective is we take the symptoms so that we can actually align it with its origin. We take the symptoms to align with its origin, which means that allows us to find out where it originated so that we can pinpoint the underlying cause of the hair loss or the scalp disorder. That is a completely different perspective from one who actually practices allopathic care. One is merely silencing, what is going on, is silencing the body's communication, putting the body on mute. Meanwhile, you feel like you're okay. And then the other one is actually saying, let me look at these symptoms. Let me do some investigation. Let me understand physiology mapping so that I can map these symptoms back to its origin. And when you're able to do that, only then are you able to build an effective strategy for recovery, right? And this is what we're trying to do at the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases. So that just brings you, a little insight about what this conversation is going to be about tonight. So if you feel like this is something that resonates with you as a beauty professional, or you feel like this is something that resonates with you as someone who is experiencing hair loss, then I really want you to share this live out to your beauty bestie or your social media tribe so that everyone can be brought into awareness, because that is my mission, to increase your awareness around what is happening on the scalp and where the cause actually is, because the hair loss and the scalp disorder is not the cause, it is the effect that the cause is bringing. Okay, so just in case this is your first time joining me tonight, again, I am Kai Smith, also known as your hair loss advocate. I am the founder of the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, where we certify beauty pros to become functional trichologists. I am also the founder of Hair Loss Management Center of Houston, a virtual hair loss clinic where I support women globally with recovery strategies for hair loss. I am the creator of our signature program, ID Hair Loss Behind the Chair, that takes place quarterly here in Houston, Texas. It actually creates a space for people who are aspiring to become hair loss experts to get their feet wet, to understand what the universe of trichology is all about. And it also helps to bridge the gap for those who have already been practicing trichology but can't seem to get it right, and they need much more in order to activate what they already know. So we're doing so many things in the space of this beauty industry to affect change and to impact our communities, helping them to live longer, healthier lives through leveraging the power of trichology. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a lover of God, and I am very, very purpose driven. And so with that said, I want you guys to share this out, because we're getting ready to take this ride. Y'all ready? Because I want y'all to talk to me tonight. I want you guys to dialogue with me. And whenever you have questions, I want you to feel free to pop in the chat with your questions. If I said something that that hits home to you, I want you to amen it, or I want you to ouch it if it's uncomfortable. Whatever that might be, I want you to engage me in the chat tonight. All right? So I also have a guest on with me tonight, and I'm excited to have her on because she's actually the recipient of the 50% or partial scholarship that was provided by one of our AEHSD alums, and they wish to remain anonymous. But I'm excited that she was selected. I'm excited to have her come and be a part of this movement. Trichology is the new cosmetology. I'm excited to help her bridge the gap with how she wants to move in the trichology field. And I can't wait for her to arrive into Houston so that I can actually hug her neck, because I've been seeing her on social media for a long time. And now I get the opportunity to actually meet her here in Houston. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys tonight Miss Nikki Glasgow, with over 3 decades of experience as a licensed beauty professional. And she also has some trichological background as well. So let's bring Nikki to the stage. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So Miss Nikki, all the way from Columbia, South Carolina, I want to first know, how did you feel to learn that you were the actual recipient of the partial scholarship?
I was beyond excited and overjoyed. I had already had plans of coming, but then God has a way of doing things. My car broke down, my son's car broke down, and I was like, I gotta get these cars fixed. How am I gonna make it to this? So this opportunity came at the right time, perfect timing.
I remember being with you. I don't think you did all 4 of the weeks. Did you do all 4 of the weeks in the complimentary webinars that we were doing for the month of
Yeah,
Monday?
the last one with the protein.
Yes, 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 from plate to follicle for the meatless diet. You did all 4 weeks with us, Nikki, did you?
I did 3. I missed the
3.
first week.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I didn't think you did them all, but I didn't want to be mistaken. And so I was excited to have you in that space. And I do recall you saying, yes, I'm coming, I'm enrolling, and then you submitted once we found out that we actually had someone that was providing a scholarship, and to find out that you were actually the recipient and you had already expressed interest in coming into the space, getting that scholarship. Finding out that you had car troubles, something that probably would have kept you from even coming in October, then God shows up and says, I got something for you. I'm gonna give you 50% off. What was the number one thing that came to your mind? Give me one word that came to your mind.
First, when I read the email, and I was like, yes, God, you favor me. I love you. I just simply said, this is my time. This is my time, because I don't think I've ever been as ready and as excited to get back into it. I put it on pause for a minute, but after watching you live and talking about the when we were in the last series with the protein, I was like, okay, I'm missing something, but these dots are now connecting. So I got to get more. So how am I going to get more? I got to keep coming and keep coming.
And that's going to be forever. Even when you come to ID, like, it's still going to be a need for you to stay in the space to get more. Like, I still have to get more and more and more. I still have to study and all the things, because if you don't practice it, you lose it, and things are constantly changing. So you have to remain a student. Even as the founder of the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, I am still a student of Trichology, no matter how big I get, no matter how many years I've been doing it. When you stop learning, you might as well close the coffin, put a nail in it, because then you're no longer going to be able to service your clients at the current level from an innovative perspective, understanding what's new, how things have changed. All of those things are really, really important when you're continuing to stay at the forefront of your business. Now, was that 4-week webinar your first time engaging me on that kind of level?
Yes, it was.
So what made you say, I'm going to go for the free? What made you give me, because like, we spent over an hour every single week in that space, and that was your off day. Like, when I come in on Mondays, that's our typically our off day. So what made you decide to give me a couple of hours of your time every Monday for 3 consecutive Mondays?
Well, Kai, honestly, just following you, I feel that you really had something to offer me. So when the free one came up, I said, okay, well, let me check this out. The first day when we were on, and I was like, okay, it was just like things hitting me right and left. And I'm saying, all right, now this is making sense. I didn't know this. Okay, this is connecting this to this. So it was just like putting it all together for me, like learning what I didn't know, relearning some things, but then also unlearning some things that I had learned. And I was like, okay, well, that wasn't right. So I don't need to practice that anymore. So it was like you were bringing awareness, and it opened me up. So the next 2 weeks, you had my attention.
That's awesome. I really love that. It makes me grateful, because that was your first time coming into the space with me. It happened to be a complimentary space, and you saw so much value that you decided to commit another 2 weeks, because you came the first one and then you decided to commit the next 2 weeks. And that says a lot for me, because my model in business is making sure that I overserve, no matter if it's for free or if it's paid. I always want you to leave feeling like you owe me. That's my model. And that way I know I have a light pillow, and you've walked away with additional knowledge that you didn't have, or understanding how to use knowledge that you already had. I'm really big on the triangle to recovery, which is what, why, and how, which is exactly the way I facilitated all 4 of those weeks, which is why I think you understood so much. It kind of filled in some of the gap about the topic that we were actually lecturing on, because of that actual methodology. Would you say that that's true?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the volume went out a little bit. What was the last part?
Oh, I just asked, did you think that that was true? That
Oh, okay.
the
Yeah,
reason why
yeah,
you were able to
definitely,
push.
definitely.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's awesome stuff. So what are you most excited about as you travel all the way from South Carolina to Houston, Texas? You're going to leave your family, leave your business for what, 6 days, possibly even 7 whole days, depending on when you're leaving. So that's a whole week that you've committed to your education. You've committed to pouring back into yourself in order to go deeper for your clients. What is the number one thing that you are excited about when you reach Houston? And what do you think that what are you coming to get? Let me just put it like that. What are you coming to get?
Um, I can't say it's just one thing that I'm excited about, because it's a lot of things, because I've been seeing the promos about it. So, I'm excited about seeing Mitch, and, just coming together with other trichologists and learning myself. Um, Coming out of my shell a little bit as well, and just getting all the knowledge that everybody has to offer, because it's like a complete package that I can't wait to bring back to my clients. And it's just going to better help me to put it all together better. Just the presentation will be different when I relaunch this next time.
Oh yeah. So I'm taking from that, and you tell me if I missed the mark. I'm taking from what you said that you're excited about coming to learn because you feel like there's some gaps there, and you're ready to serve on a deeper level. You have an expectation that when you arrive there, you will not leave and go back home the same way, that it is going to allow you to launch your business in trichology more effectively, and most importantly, differently than what you did the first time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. So for those that don't know, Nikki has previous trichology experience. How long have you been practicing and studying in trichology?
Um, since 2019.
Okay, since 2019. And I can't recall, do you have a certification in trichology, or do you
Yes,
or
I did the hair loss practitioner's course, and
okay.
then in what year is it, 2022, I became a certified trichologist.
You became a certified trichologist.
Hmm.
And if you had to say, I'm going to ask this question a little bit differently. Out of all the knowledge that you have gained, because you've done 2 different courses, it sounds like you've done 2019, 2021, and 2022. So you have 3 years, under your belt of getting the education.
Hmm.
What do you feel is the biggest thing that you're missing that is keeping you from being as effective?
Being able to converse with my clients on a cellular level. Um, the practical part of just what's on top, but not really get into the physiology of trichology. And that's the part that I know I've been missing. I've
Okay.
even considered taking a course in college for physiology. So
Mhm.
that's the part that I've been missing, working on, the cellular part of it, and really getting down to the why, like you said, the origin of what the problem is. So
Okay. And so I want to invite you into this perspective because you said something. And before you act on that, I want to kind of provide you some insight. because you said, I've even thought about taking a course in physiology in college, right? Um, I just want to caution you that if you do that physiology class, you're just going to learn physiology and you're not going to know how to apply that to an actual case, because understanding physiology is one thing, and understanding physiology and how it correlates with the integumentary system is something completely different. That's a completely different training. So you can't try to go learn physiology. You will know the body systems. You will understand how the body works. But the client that you're going to be seeing is not going to be telling you that their body works optimally. So they're not going to be talking about, my body is perfect, my body is functioning like 1, 2, 3, ABC. And that's the way you're going to learn it in that course. They're going to teach you how physiology works, how it's supposed to come together cohesively. They're not going to teach you how to align that same information with the dysfunction and how that dysfunction causes an effect on the scalp and the hair by way of the dermis. They're not going to teach you that. And that is what is the most effective part about my teachings at AEHSD, is that I have a gifting in being able to correlate that physiology through a process that I've dubbed physiology mapping. And that is understanding where you see a person at today and being able to reverse engineer and walk it all the way back and see how they got to the point where they are with you today. And that is very essential to be effective enough to build a recovery strategy and to converse with the client on the level that you want to converse with them on a cellular level. So I don't want you to go and take the course and then come out, you spend that time, because time is a currency. Time is something that we cannot get back. Money, we can get that back. We can make that back every day, all day. As long as we got people to touch, that money will come back. But it's not about how many people we can touch. It's about the strategy and how we utilize the time. And so based on your study from 2019 to 2022, there's a huge gap for you in that space with that you identify for yourself. And I commend you for even being able to articulate, like, I need to know how to talk on a cellular level. I commend that, because you were very clear in the time that I spent with you, and you were so honest and vulnerable in that space when I was talking to you. Like, I really resonated with you because I had the same pain that you did, that we were discussing in that space. So I really resonated with you. And so I wasted a lot of time, not because I was twiddling my thumbs, but because I didn't have a Kai Smith in my life to give me that direction. And so I've taken the blows to the stomach. I've taken the overheating of the engine. I've taken all of those pitfalls. So I know where the potholes are in the road. I know where the road closures are, all of those things, which is why I've put together courses the way that I have. Not to say that you won't have your own dips in the road, but you don't have to take the same dips, right? You're going to learn your dips, and then you create that experience so that you can then teach who's going to be assigned to you. Because when I read your story, a part of your story, you're saying that you actually want to educate in this field as well, which I think is completely phenomenal, because you want to be able to extend yourself. And I'm quite sure that you want to support people to prevent them from going through the obstacles and stuff that you've gone through, like the roadblocks and stuff. And that's the same thing that I wanted to do, and why I do what I do. So my next question for you is, why ID? Why AHSD? Why Kai Smith?
Why not Kai Smith?
Okay.
Honestly, like I said, I've been following you for quite some time. And just every time I watch you, you've just been piquing my interest. And it's like you're talking the talk I want to talk.
Okay.
And so, I've been told, if you want to be a millionaire, then you need to get with millionaires. So if I want to be the best trichologist, I need to get with one of the best trichologists.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that. I have another question around that. And the reason why I have a question around this is because on social media, we get a chance to see so many different things from people, things we want to and some things that we don't want to. And sometimes it becomes hard to weed between the minutia, if you will, right? And so because people are so interested in showing the highlight reels of what's happening in their lives and not the pain that they're suffering in their lives. They hide that and then they come to the forefront with all the highlights of where their life is going good, right? And so what makes you think that I'm going to give you what you need? What makes you think that you've made the right choice in me?
So once before, and I think it was when we were on the last series of the protein, um, you talked about the same things you just talked about just now, how you went and did the research yourself, how you had to go and dig and study and because it wasn't given to you. Same thing. You had, missing components. And you actually went out and did the lead work yourself to get the information. So I figure, if you're gonna take that kind of time to invest in yourself, to dig and research and then bring it back to us, this has got to be the place for me. And not only that, just the lineup of people that you bring the ID. I follow some of them, so I know this is going to be something really, really special.
Yeah, I agree. Well stated. Well stated. And the lineup of people, I'm excited about the lineup of people. Let's run through the lineup of people since you mentioned that really quickly. Who do we have coming up first with the lineup that we can share with the people just in case they want to register and get their tickets? We don't have another partial scholarship or anything like that, but we still do have a payment plan opportunity for you if you're looking to lay away your education. So let's run. We have Dr. Joy K. Madison. She's going to be dealing with psychology and having you to come home to yourself, to understand you and your placement in your role as a trichologist. Always super dope when she comes to the scene, helping you understand who you are first, because we do believe in nurturing the practitioner first in order to enhance the experience of the client. We got Miss Micheline Barber, impacting the minds of millions. Mitch is always on fire. Mitch is always going to bring you an understanding like none other. She's done a few different topics with us at ID, expanding on pruning and pouring, and then understanding how to reimagine yourself through staying power. So she's always one of our empowerment speakers in this space. Surely to light a fire under you. We got Miss Dania Durden. She is an educator of AHSD and also a member of our Trichology Collective. Dania's specialty in this space is helping you understand the gut microbiome as it relates to the scalp microbiome. Her segment allows you to leave ID hair loss behind the chair as a scalp microbiome specialist. So you're actually receiving 2 different certifications as a result of spending 5 days with us. The first is hair loss first responder, and then the scalp microbiome specialist. We got Miss Jessica Davis, certified trichologist and Sister Locks educator, who is also an educator of AHSD, who is going to be bringing natural hair to you from a trichological perspective. So all things locks and natural hair, she will be dealing with the terrain of the scalp from that perspective, and it is an amazing segment at IDBTC. And we got Miss Tam Waters up for the very, very first time. This is her debut at IDBTC. Tam is a hair loss and NSHR specialist, non-surgical hair replacement specialist in the building. And she is going to be coming from a trichological perspective, utilizing non-surgical hair replacement techniques, helping you align that with understanding what's happening on the terrain of the scalp, just to make sure you're not causing more damage on the scalp, making sure that the person doesn't need more of a temporary solution because they still have active hair follicles. She's going to be talking to you about preparing your business to receive government contracts and medical billing. So multiple streams of income Tam will be talking about when she comes into the building. So I'm excited to have her in a space. We got Chris Bond, branding and marketing specialist. Chris has a very unique segment that he does with us because as we move into understanding this new skill set, we have to know how to market differently because you can't market yourself the same way as a trichology expert as you do as a cosmetologist. So Chris is going to be showing you different elements of how to build your brand so that you can stand out and be the authority. I can't wait because he's going to be doing some different things this time than he has the other two times. So this one's going to be loaded. You guys are going to walk out of there understanding the branding elements and understanding how to get started in that space of branding yourself as this hair loss expert. And we have Marche Mayfield, tax and business strategist. Marche is teaching you how to stop just looking like you got bank and know how to really get to the bank. After we teach you how to build an additional 6 figures with the newly acquired skill set, Marche is going to show you how to protect that money, how to position yourselves properly before IRS, and also how to utilize certain documents in your business that's going to help you project your numbers better. So I'm super excited for her segment as well. All right, and then you got yours truly, Kai Smith. I am the facilitator of this full event. We will be getting down with all things trichology, bringing everything into perspective so that you understand how to converse with your clients on a cellular level. You understand the causes of hair loss and also understand how to map the scalp to know how to move forward with your clients based on what's happening with them. This is going to be a phenomenal 5 days, you guys. I'm so doggone excited to bring this again. The special thing about this one is that it is our last event for 2024. I can't believe I'm even saying it is our last event for 2024 because that time went by so quickly. We are actually getting ready to be event number 3, down to event number 3 of the year. So if you haven't already gotten your ticket, if you are on the fence about coming to ID BTC, like don't delay because we will only keep the registration open until September is going to be closing. So you got over a month left to enroll. But if you enroll late, then you're going to get down to a one pay. And so if finances are a thing for you, and you're trying to hold on to your money as long as you can, I would advise you to sign up as soon as possible so that you can get in on our payment plan. So don't delay that, you guys. What I want to do before we get ready to transition into our next segment, I want to go ahead and go to a commercial really quick. Share this out and we'll be right back.
I always thought I was saying I didn't want to be a trichologist, but sitting in here made me realize that it's stuff that I needed to know to help the next person, to help myself.
I guess with the correction came direction because I knew I needed to get a little more education in order to be able to help them the correct way.
You know, I think that trichology takes some time to get. I said, but I want over here, so you need to call Kai. So now this is where I'm going.
This book, but your next level is the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases. It isn't this book. Because what I have for you in AHSD, this book can help.
Once you get into it, you're gonna want more and more and more. So, like I said, this is my 4th time here. I think I said on my 2nd visit, I don't feel like I ever need to miss an ID.
And you haven't since you've been here.
I haven't missed the ID since I've been in the.
You know, so you just exercising, you giving us that on-the-job training. So I'm thankful for that.
Strength comes from your creator. So I need you to shift that strength. And it's the surrender. And it's the vulnerability. And vulnerability does not make you weak. Vulnerability makes you strong.
All right, so y'all get ready for a phenomenal experience at IDBTC. As usual, God will beat us in the building, and we always leave room for him to make all the final decisions. He has to say so. He is in full control in that space. We come with the curriculum, but we allow him to be the facilitator of the actual experience, which is why each ID is different, which is why timing is everything for those who plan to be in the building. If you get delayed, then being delayed is not being denied. It just means that it is not your time to be in the space. And when you do finally meet me there, it will be something there for you, right? So with that said, I want to kind of get into a little bit of what I wanted to talk about tonight, understanding that allopathic care and holistic care are two different things. The number one thing that I want to leave you guys with tonight, because we're not going to carry on too much longer, but the one thing that I want to leave you with tonight about holistic versus allopathic care. If you're already operating in the field of trichology and you're not quite sure about your position, or you see a lot of things happening and you don't know the words to use, or you're encroaching up on the medical side, we have to be very careful about how we move as trichologists, because the front is almost identical to mimicking a doctor, our white coats and some of the things that we might be trying to practice inside of our hair loss clinics or our hair salons. So your language, your verbiage is everything, because you never want to speak language like a medical professional, a licensed medical professional, because trichologists are paramedical professionals and should not ever use language that sounds anything like a medical professional or can be misconstrued as diagnosing or prescribing someone something. And I see a lot of things on my timeline that kind of make me cringe, because if someone really wanted to go after you for that, they could, because your language is mimicking that of a licensed medical professional. So I just want to say that the biggest difference between why a person should seek a trichologist versus a dermatologist, because there's room for both. I do believe there's room for both, because not everyone seeks a holistic approach. Not everyone seeks an allopathic approach. But what the client does deserve is the opportunity to be educated on both. And that is the value that we bring at AEHSD. Our certified functional trichologists understand the perspective of allopathic care, primarily because each time they get a client, probably 8 times out of 10, the client has already sought professional help from a licensed medical professional, which means that they were probably already given some type of protocol that includes some kind of injection or some kind of topical solution of some sort, or maybe some oral solution that they might be utilizing. And you need to understand what that is as a holistic practitioner of trichology, right? Even if you don't believe in the allopathic remedies or methodologies, you need to understand it, because your client deserves to understand why these things were provided to them during their allopathic care service. And they need to understand what it is that you offer as a holistic health practitioner of trichology. Now, trichs and derms sometimes will not align. It depends. If you decide in your career that you want to go and work in a dermatologist's office under a dermatologist as a trichologist, that's something completely different. But for me, in my opinion, and this is not the opinion of Nikki, she's not endorsing what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Kai Smith. And I like to keep that clear when I bring guests on, because I never want someone to think that the person always aligns with me if they don't, right? So that's just a disclaimer. Nikki doesn't even know what I'm going to say. So what I'm saying is, if you are a trichologist and you understand allopathic care and you understand holistic care, and your client is coming to you and they've already sought allopathic care without resolve, why would you want to offer them something that they already had that did not work? And I'm saying that because in my experience in trichology, about 99% of my clients have already sought professional care from a dermatologist or a primary care physician. I have a client that I'm working on, a case I'm working on now, who her hair loss has been completely exacerbated as a result of allopathic treatment. It didn't have to get to this point. There's so much cicatricial loss, and she has a combination of lymphocytic and neutrophilic action being taken on her scalp that has escalated to a cicatricial state that she will never recover her hair. But had she been given the attention that she deserved, and they had actually pinpointed the origin of the symptom so that they can build a recovery strategy for the system of burden, instead of actually aligning prescriptions with her symptoms, she wouldn't be in this space. So what I'm saying to you is, why would I send over my customers to a space where they were failed previously? So my trichologists are not trained to align with allopathic care. That is a bold statement that I am willing to stand behind. My trichologists are not trained to align with allopathic care. My trichologists understand allopathic care. My trichologists give their clients the opportunity to understand allopathic and holistic care, and then they allow them to have a choice in the matter of what they choose for themselves. But they do this through from an educated perspective, meaning they understand what allopathic care is doing, why they were given these prescriptions, why it did not work, what else is actually doing to the body, as well as understanding the holistic perspective that we have suggested to them, what it's doing, why it's doing it, and how it's going to get them to where they need to be. And then we give them both options, and then they make the educated decision or choice to move forward how they choose to. We don't undermine the dermatologist to them. However, we do speak facts to them, giving them the opportunity to learn their situation based on how God created their body to work, right? And so why would I send my client back to somewhere that did not work for them? My job is to create a solution for them, not to confuse them further about what's happening to them and they don't understand why, right? So if you are a holistic health practitioner of trichology, your thought process, your perspective will never align with allopathic care. So stop fighting it, because you're not comparing apples to apples, right? It's not the same experience. It's not the same thing. You need to understand how to leverage your position as a trichologist. And what do you mean by that, Kai? What I mean by how you leverage your position as a trichologist, you don't try to do what the dermatologist does. You do what a trichologist does. You have clarity on what a trichologist does. And a trichologist can suggest and can recommend and can give anecdotes, right? That's what we can do. And we can build herbal protocols, vitamin protocols, mineral protocols. We can suggest different foods to support with their recovery, right? These are the things that we can do, which are the things that are most effective for the client, because those are the most organic things that the body is actually going to recognize on a cellular level. Just because you can't render, a diagnosis or write a prescription doesn't mean that you're ineffective, right? It means that you need to understand your power as a trichologist, and you need to leverage that. You don't need to be in competition with the dermatologist, because you don't do the same thing as a dermatologist. So there's no need for competition, right? And so I want to leave you guys with that. And if you need clarity around what I said, and if you are like Nikki and you decided I need to bridge a gap between what I know and what I don't know so that I can speak on a cellular level to my client, then I invite you into the space of IDBTC, October 19th through the 23rd. Come and level up with us. This is a mastermind of elite beauty professionals, and you need to be in the building. You will learn how to make an additional 6 figures with the information that we're training you on in that space. It's not a game. It's not a joke. If you do the things that we tell you to do, you're going to build and you're going to win, right? So come and win with us, October 19th through the 23rd. I want to end this with, I'm going to be at Impulse Summit in September. Oh, we got the victory, baby. We got the victory. The victory is ours. ours is already done. I'm so doggone excited to connect with my peers in that space, to share with y'all how to fade to white. We trading in that black coat for that white coat, y'all. There's some upper echelon conversation that's getting ready to happen at Impulse Summit. So I want you guys to come and elevate with me. But before we get out of here, I want to share more insight on Impulse Summit, and you can go to impulsesummit.com to grab your ticket. But watch this quick video real quick so that you can be more informed.
Welcome to Impulse Summit, where beauty meets opportunity. Elevate your brand, ignite your passion, and join us as a sponsor. At Impulse Summit, we're not just redefining beauty education, we're revolutionizing it. Our approach goes beyond the surface, addressing the spiritual, personal, and professional dimensions of every attendee. Let's shape the future together. Contact us to schedule a meeting about our sponsorship packages today. What's new at Impulse Summit this year? This year, we're breaking new ground by introducing a game-changing approach to education. Say goodbye to traditional educators and welcome our core specialists. These specialists are masters in their respective fields, delivering unparalleled expertise and communication skills. They're not just educators, they're invaluable resources for unlocking new levels of learning and growth at Impulse Summit. For the first time ever, we're bridging the gap between consumers and professionals, empowering both parties with unparalleled expertise. By equipping consumers with professional insights, we foster a deeper understanding and collaboration between professionals and their clients. Also introducing Her Made Over, our 501c3 makeover giveaway. At Impulse Summit, we believe in giving back. The Cream Awards, a prestigious event honoring legends, iconic leaders, and path blazers in the beauty industry. Vendors, don't miss this opportunity of 3 days as we open our doors to the public as well. They will be looking for products and services that we've been promoting for this upcoming summit. It's Impulse Summit, September 21st to the 23rd, Charlotte, North Carolina. For more information about our new events, go to impulsesummit.com.
You guys, I want you to meet me in North Carolina. If you can't get to Houston, then get to North Carolina. Or if you can get to both, do both, because both events will offer you something completely different, right? Go out in the last quarter with a bang, preparing yourself for 2025. There's no need to wait. You don't have to wait until, the last quarter to make your decisions. It's time to make that decision now. So meet me in Charlotte and meet me in Houston, y'all. It has been a wonderful ride this evening. I hope that you guys got value from this live. As always, if you have any additional questions for me about anything that I've shared, or if you would like to enroll in IDBTC, the link is scrolling at the bottom of this screen. Or if you have additional questions and you can't seem to pull the link up, then go ahead and send me a DM, and I will get back to you about anything that you're inquiring about. All right. So you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Miss Nikki, do you want to leave them with any last words?
If you haven't signed up for ID, now's your time. And anytime, if you ever see where she's offering a scholarship or anything, do yourselves a favor and apply for it. It's definitely worth it. It's priceless education.
Thank you so much. You guys, you be good to yourselves for the rest of the week. Honor yourselves. Give yourself grace wherever you feel like you need grace. Be compassionate with how you care about yourself, because when you are compassionate about you, you can extend that to other people. I love y'all, and y'all have an amazing night. Good night.
I like to know why. Because I want you to understand what's really happening with your clients. Your clients who are coming into you are not coming into you because they have hair loss. They think they are. But it is your job to change that conversation, for them to understand that this is not hair loss. This is your body speaking loudly to you through your hair, and I'm here to interpret the language that your body is speaking. Whatever it is that you've been called to be, you're going to be able to be that once you leave me. I'm going to empower you to speak to your doctor so that you can get the help that you
I
need.
am here. I'm coming to get all this knowledge because I am going to pour it out.
And I'm open and ready to move forward.
So that's why I'm here.
Mita aqui na Houston com Kai Smith, com Gopi rende uma imagem bonita mesmo, então mita experienciando algo mais bonito.
This is the beginning for you.